They counted on you never looking deeper. But Archangel Michael saw through the act instantly. Don't miss it. Open now. At 3:03 a.m., when the earth was still and the air hung thick with silence, something sacred stirred. A divine disruption shook through the unseen realms. In the shadowed corridors of illusion, where manipulation tried to masquerade as truth, a tremor from heaven cracked through the veil. It wasn't random. It wasn't ordinary. And it wasn't meant for everyone. It was a sacred alarm. Archangel Michael descended, not when people expected light, but in the hour of shadows. The hour when most are asleep. The hour when falsehood hides in confidence. But not this night. No, at 3:03 a.m., the silence was shattered by angelic presence. Not everyone heard it. But you did. Somewhere deep inside, you felt the pulse. Something tugged at your soul. Something invisible yet undeniable. That moment was not just time passing. It was heaven touching earth. There had been a performance. Oh yes. Carefully rehearsed, hidden in smiles and camouflaged words. You were never meant to notice. You were supposed to keep looking down, scrolling past, numbing out. They counted on your weariness. They bet on your blindness. But they forgot one thing. You were marked. And what the world misses, the Spirit reveals. Heaven opened its eyes through yours. While others slept in spiritual anesthesia, your soul began to tremble with an awakening. You may not have had the facts, the proof, or the explanation, but your spirit knew. The restlessness in your chest, that urge to pray out of nowhere, that unease when others seemed comfortable. It wasn't paranoia. It was preparation. Because Archangel Michael saw what you weren't supposed to see. You didn't stumble across this message. You were led. You were summoned. Your clicking here wasn't accidental. It was a divine nudge. A secret calling to the awakened ones, those who sense, who feel, who spiritually perceive beneath the surface. You didn't just show up. You were sent to this moment. Hear this clearly. This message is not for the blind. It's not for the numb. It's not for those who choose the illusion of comfort over the cost of truth. It's for the ones like you. The ones who've been stirred awake at strange hours. The ones whose dreams carry warnings. The ones who smile in public but wrestle in prayer. You are not forgotten. You are not crazy. You are chosen. There is a divine unraveling happening, and your eyes were meant to see it. This is your moment of sacred pause. Your soul is being drawn into stillness, not silence, not ignorance, but spiritual stillness, where heavenly intelligence can speak what human lips cannot say. They tried to cloak their intentions. They masked their motives. But Archangel Michael, the sword-bearer of divine truth, has stepped forward, and his voice will not be ignored. Listen carefully, for the hour of revelation is upon you. You are not here by mistake. You are being called to rise not in noise but in knowing. Your vision is sharpening. Your discernment is deepening. And those who thought you'd never question, they're about to witness what heaven always knew. You were never blind. You were simply waiting. They counted on your silence, your slumber, your submission. But what they forgot, what they underestimated, is the power of divine awakening. And now that you've begun to see, you cannot unsee. Now that the veil has been torn, you cannot pretend. And now that Michael has spoken, your soul can no longer settle for the lie. This is your spiritual summons. A holy disturbance meant to wake you, warn you, and weaponize you with truth. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. Michael calls you now, not later, not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready. Now, in this very breath, in this very beat of your heart. You are not here by chance, beloved. You are being pulled from the noise and thrust into the sacred. This is not the voice of suggestion. This is the command of awakening. Heaven has sounded the trumpet in your soul, and Archangel Michael stands at your right hand, sword drawn, declaring, your time of sight begins now. You feel it. You felt it for days, maybe weeks. The disquiet in your chest. The tension that creeps in when nothing seems wrong but everything feels off. You're not imagining it. You're not overthinking. You're not being too sensitive. You're hearing the knock of divine disruption. Michael is not whispering in this hour. He is roaring. And his roar is breaking down every wall that has blinded you to what has really been operating behind the scenes. Hear this. In the next 12 hours, something will stir. Revelation will strike not like a candle's flicker, but like thunder. This is a prophetic countdown. This is divine timing, not based on clocks, but on Kairos, God's sacred schedule. The heavens are aligning to pull you from deception into divine clarity. And the moment you agreed in your spirit to hear this message, the wheels began to turn. There is something about you that made you a target. There is something inside you that caused darkness to construct an elaborate masquerade around you. They didn't just lie. They coordinated. They didn't just pretend. They rehearsed. You were surrounded by well-scripted distractions, designed to dilute your discernment. But what they never accounted for was your awakening. What they never imagined is that you would begin to feel again, begin to see again, begin to trust the voice within you again. Only the marked ones feel this confirmation in their bones. Only the chosen ones feel this fire rise when truth calls their name. You are not hearing this with your ears. You are hearing this in your spirit. That inner whisper that's growing louder, that's the spirit decoding this message into your divine DNA. You are being summoned out of deception and drawn into destiny. This is your line in the sand. This is the moment heaven interrupts your routine and declares, enough pretending, enough thinking, enough doubting. You've spent too long adjusting to dishonesty, too long suppressing your instincts to preserve peace, too long assuming the best while your spirit screamed the truth. You've watered down your vision, hoping not to offend. But now the Lion of Judah is stirring inside you, and Archangel Michael is commanding that the scales fall from your eyes. There is a holy confrontation in the air. Don't be surprised if emotions erupt. Don't be alarmed if relationships feel strained. Don't question if old patterns begin to die. This is the cost of sight. This is the pain of clarity. But this is also the path of freedom. You will not go back to spiritual blindness. You will not re-enter the cage of deception. Not after what God is about to show you. You are being spiritually rerouted, right now, even as these words fill the atmosphere. You have wondered, why can't I shake this feeling? Why do you keep returning to this unease, this suspicion, this sense that something's being hidden from you? It is not just a hunch. It's heaven's alarm. Michael is standing beside you, flaming sword in hand, guarding your spirit as truth approaches. Your soul is waking up. Your heart is recalibrating. Your discernment is sharpening like a blade. The fog is lifting, and clarity is coming like lightning across your horizon. You are not alone in this. Archangel Michael surrounds you with divine presence. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to gather the evidence. You don't even have to speak, not yet. All you need to do is pause, breathe, and listen. The Spirit is speaking, and what He speaks now will rearrange everything that tried to rearrange you. Heaven has invaded this moment. You've been living under the weight of what others expected, projected, manipulated. But now you're being called out of that illusion. You're being pulled into divine reality. The counterfeit can no longer hold you. The lie can no longer lead you. Because Michael, heaven's warrior, has seen through the act, and now he's guiding you into truth. Listen. Don't dismiss the signs. Don't explain away the discernment. Don't betray your inner knowing. This is sacred ground. What comes next will not just confirm what you suspected. It will reveal what was hidden and release what's been held back. The dissection is ending. Your vision is returning. And the Spirit of Truth is now in full command. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. You felt it before you knew it. Before the facts surfaced. Before the mask slipped. Before the words fell out of sync. Your spirit already knew. You didn't need a confession. You didn't need a confrontation. What you needed was clarity. And heaven has come to deliver it. Because while you've been walking through rooms trying to steady your voice and still your emotions, the weight pressing against your chest was not anxiety. It was spiritual pressure. A holy alert. A warning not from man, but from the throne room itself. You noticed it in the smallest things. The sudden hush when you entered the room. The way conversations shifted as if you weren't meant to hear them. You felt the temperature change. Not physical heat, but a spiritual climate. They thought you were naive. They thought you'd accept the performance. But what they never saw coming was your discernment sharpening right beneath your silence. You were not being sensitive, you were being activated. There are some glances that linger too long. Some smiles that don't quite reach the eyes. Some "I'm here for you"s that carry an undertone of threat. And you noticed. Not with suspicion, but with spiritual insight. The atmosphere told on them before their mouths ever could. You walked into rooms where eyes avoided yours, where voices stumbled through casual tones. And deep within you, something clenched. You didn't know why. But now you do. The Spirit was warning you. There are watchers, beloved, people who appear close, who call themselves allies, who say the right things, but carry the wrong spirit. They've positioned themselves near you, but not to protect you. They've watched not to honor your growth, but to track it. Not to help you build, but to see where they might tear down. Your smiles were rehearsed. Their compliments, strategic. And they thought you wouldn't notice, that you'd overlook the inconsistencies, the hidden motives, the sudden detachment when you needed them most. But heaven saw it all, and Michael never looked away. They forgot that you don't see with flesh alone. You see with spirit. And in that realm, motives speak louder than words. In that realm, you felt their discomfort in your presence, not because you did anything wrong, but because your light irritated their demons. Your purity exposed their performance. And your spirit, though weary, kept picking up what their mouths refused to say. You questioned yourself. You tried to be reasonable. You prayed, "God, maybe I'm reading too much into this." But no, you were reading with spiritual eyes. And now, heaven confirms, you were not paranoid, you were being spiritually warned. A moment you felt small for trusting your gut. That was the enemy trying to mute your discernment. The time you held your tongue, not out of cowardice, but because something sacred told you to wait. That was divine wisdom protecting you. What you're feeling is not madness. It's spiritual intelligence rising in you. The tug in your belly. the ache in your heart, the sudden urge to step back, to stay quiet, to observe more closely. That wasn't weakness. That was a heavenly assignment. They rehearsed a role, but they forgot that God sees what man rehearses. Michael is now revealing what was hidden. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about vindication by human hands. It's about exposing the deception that tried to wrap itself around your destiny. Because confusion has tried to mask itself as normalcy. But you've been disturbed not because you're broken, but because you're being awakened. What's coming next will not be accidental. It will be divinely orchestrated confirmation. And when it happens, you won't need to say a word, because what God is doing in secret will be revealed in public. Stay alert. Stay humble. But stay spiritually assertive. Because what your heart whispered is now being confirmed with a roar from heaven. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe for exclusive prophetic content, regular spiritual updates, and divine guidance that keeps you covered in every season. Heaven is speaking. Don't miss it. Type "I am shielded" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7744 is surrounding you now. This is not personal. It's prophetic warfare. Don't let your emotions misinterpret the battlefield. This isn't about personalities clashing. This isn't about petty drama. This is about the realm of darkness reacting to your rising purpose. Because what they hate is not your character, it's your calling. What they resist is not your kindness, it's your anointing. You have become a disruption to their comfort zones, a divine irritation to every spirit that wants to keep you bound. And so conflict came. But it wasn't by accident. It was a training ground. The discomfort you felt is not punishment, it's divine refinement. You are not being great. You are being for. Every moment of silence, every betrayal, every confusing interaction was shaping you, sharpening you, sensitizing your spirit to truth. Heaven allowed certain things to be hidden so that your discernment could be honed. God wasn't ignoring the whispers behind your back. He was using them to strengthen the stillness inside you. You were not being overlooked. You were being insulated. You didn't lose those connections by mistake. Heaven pruned you, not because you're unworthy, but because what's ahead requires your soul to be clear. You were being separated from noise, from manipulation, from anything that could tether your heart to false peace. There's a reason you've been misunderstood. There's a reason your silence bothered them more than your words. It wasn't just that you didn't explain yourself. It's that your spirit was no longer accessible to their control. You have been marked, and that means you are watched. Not just by people, but by principalities. You have been identified in the spirit realm as a threat. That's why the warfare increased when your prayers grew stronger. That's why the dreams started intensifying. That's why the distractions came right before your breakthrough. Do not confuse this pressure for defeat. It's an indicator of your impact. What they hide is often proof of what heaven has already revealed. They may not have said it, but their actions confirmed it. The way they withdrew, the way they changed tones, the way they tried to downplay your growth, that's spiritual datum. They see your fire, even if they won't admit it. They feel your rise, even if they pretend not to notice. You are under surveillance, not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to darkness. And you don't need to fight for your name. You don't need to rush to prove your worth. Let God fight. Let Michael war. You are already in the winner's circle. You're just being refined to walk like it. This conflict isn't the end. It's the announcement. Heaven is echoing, watch this one. They are about to rise. And the enemy knows it too. That's why he's sending distractions. That's why the warfare has become psychological, emotional, relational. Because if he can't stop your calling, he'll try to wear down your focus. But hear this, your focus is being restored. Your authority is being re-anchored. Your spirit is being fortified. This is not a breakdown. This is the battlefield where kings are crowned. Don't take it personally. Take it prophetically. Don't cry for clarity. Stand in confirmation. Because heaven is shouting now what your heart always knew. You are chosen, tested, and about to be publicly transformed. Type I am rising in the comments if this is your confirmation. Blessing code 8888 has been released over your life. Something is shifting behind closed doors. Heaven sees it. The Spirit feels it. And now your soul is sensing the tremor. There is movement. Unseen but not unfelt. Something has been planned in shadows, orchestrated in silence, rehearsed behind your back, not just by people, but by spirits using people as pawns. And the warning from heaven is clear. Someone is preparing to shake your stability. The enemy has made a subtle, strategic decision to disrupt what you've been silently building. But what they don't realize is that Michael is already stationed at the gate, and this time, your discernment will not be delayed. The clock has started ticking. In the next 72 hours, something will try to rise against your peace. Not in the form of chaos you expect, but in the form of manipulation disguised as innocence. It may come in conversation, in an invitation, in a sudden unexpected challenge. There will be a shift, a spiritual ripple that tests not just your reaction, but your readiness. Someone will try to provoke you. Someone will attempt to draw you out of your peace and into their pit. They will test your patience, bait your emotions, press against the boundaries you've drawn in silence. But hear this with clarity. Do not reveal what you know. Not yet. Let God expose what they are hiding. Let the Spirit do the talking in secret. Let heaven interrupt their plot before your lips ever speak. You are not obligated to engage. You are not required to explain. Your silence is not weakness. It's warfare. You are being trained to war from a higher dimension. This battle is not verbal. It is spiritual. Your words are not what's dangerous. Your intentions are. What you are sensing is real. What you've been feeling isn't emotional noise. It's a divine alert. God is giving you foresight so you won't fall into the trap. You've matured past the need to react. This is not the time to correct every lie, confront every whisper, or chase every shadow. This is the time to stay anchored in what the Spirit has already revealed. The betrayal you've been sensing. It's not only emotional, it's spiritual theft. Someone has tried to access what God sealed in your spirit. Someone has tried to imitate your grace, mimic your voice, shadow your purpose. It wasn't admiration, it was invasion. But their access is about to be revoked. You've outgrown their manipulation. You've evolved beyond their disguise. And now, heaven is preparing to confront it for you. There is a divine confrontation coming. Not one you provoke, but one you will witness. You are not being set up for failure, you are being set up for revelation. This pressure is not punishment. It is divine positioning. The more intense the pressure becomes, the greater the power that is rising within you. You are being pulled into deeper authority. You are not just passing through a test. You are stepping into territory. And when heaven elevates, warfare increases. But so does your access, your insight, your discernment. God is not late. Archangel Michael is not idle. The sword has already been drawn. What tried to rise against you will collapse under the weight of God's justice. What they thought would destabilize you will only reveal their deception. So listen carefully. This next encounter is not just a moment. It's a measurement. God is watching to see how you posture yourself. Do not respond in the flesh. Stay in the spirit. Do not panic. Prophecy. Speak peace into the storm. Speak clarity into confusion. Speak silence where noise tries to grow. This is the warning, but also the preparation. You are not walking into warfare unarmed. You are covered. You are equipped. And you are more dangerous in your stillness than they are in their strategy. Type "I walk in revelation" in the comments if this message is confirming your season. Blessing code 3399 is now operating in your atmosphere. Now the command is clear: be still. Stillness, not as passivity, but as power. Stillness, not as ignorance, but as intelligence. This is not the stillness of silence. This is the stillness of strategy. Heaven does not always move loudly. The Spirit often works in whispers, in atmospheres, in pauses that protect you from premature action. The command over your life right now is, move only when I say move. Archangel Michael is encircling you with a host, not just to defend you, but to keep you still until the gates of deception fall. Silence, beloved, is not weakness. It is spiritual warfare cloaked in self-control. There are some storms you don't shout through. You stand through. There are some enemies you don't expose. You outlast. You've already been surrounded by the host of heaven. The fiery ones. The wearing angels. You are not alone in this. Every false tongue is already being weighed. Every hidden weapon is already being revealed. But you are to remain still. Stay in divine alignment. Anchor yourself in sacred peace. God will fight for you, but only if you don't sabotage your own defense. This is not the time to explain, retaliate, or react. It's the time to consecrate. Pull away for a moment. Fast, if you must. Speak only when the Spirit gives you utterance. Your clarity is being downloaded in stillness, not in the noise of offense. The temptation will come to defend yourself, to retaliate, to break your silence prematurely. But hear this: premature speech can delay divine justice. Let God finish the exposure. Let the lie fall under the weight of its own deception. Let the storm prove who stands with you and who is only performing loyalty. Michael's protection over you is not passive, it is militant. He stands with sword unsheathed, positioned before your enemies, intercepting what was meant to destabilize you. And now, the Lord of hosts declares, let no fear enter your dwelling, not through your mind, not through your emotions, not through imagination. Fear has no passport to your purpose. So declare it daily. I am protected. I am shielded. I'm hidden in Him. Your very breath is covered. Your steps are ordained. Your environment is being purged of counterfeit attachments. You don't need to fear the plan. The plan should fear you. You are not defenseless. You are not exposed. You are not alone. You are surrounded. This stillness is not inactivity. It is strategic positioning. You are being taught how to fight like heaven, not through chaos, but through commanded calm. Do not dismiss the peace you feel rising. That is not weakness. That is power under control. The storm is real, but so is your protection. You have angels around your dwelling. You have the Spirit within your soul. You have clarity increasing with each surrendered breath. Heaven has stationed protection at every entrance of your life. And now, as you move from silence to strength, from observation to overflow, from stillness to strategy, know this: you are in the safest place, inside heaven's instruction. Let peace reign. Let God move. Let Michael guard. And let your soul rest. Type "I am divinely shielded" in the comments if this message confirms your current season. Lesson code 4411 has now wrapped around your dwelling. You are no longer who they think you are. The version of you they remembered. The one that doubted their own voice. The one that second-guessed their instincts. The one that stayed quiet for the sake of peace no longer exists. That version hath been buried in fire. What emerges is not a victim, not a shadow, not a silent observer. What rose from that flame is a spirit-forged warrior, cloaked in humility and weaponized in clarity. You have been transformed, and your transformation was not cosmetic. It was cellular, spiritual, and sovereign. Heaven didn't just watch you, it refined you. There were nights you thought you wouldn't survive. Days where your own prayers felt like echoes. But in those very hours, when no one could see, God was reconstructing you in silence. Your tears were not wasted. Your ache was not ignored. Your isolation was not abandonment. It was incubation. You were being molded in the invisible realm. You were being taught how to hear without hearing, how to see without seeing, how to know without knowing. And now, without anyone needing to say it, your presence alone declares, I have changed. You rose quietly. No fireworks. No celebration. Just a slow ascension into your anointed self. And though you didn't announce your growth, it is visible now, unmistakable. They can't explain why your voice has weight. They don't know why your silence stirs discomfort. But it's not you. It's the fire you now carry. The flame that forged your discernment is still burning. And now, you walk with the wisdom that only warfare could teach. What hurt you shaped you. What broke you built you. What was used to silence you trained your ears to hear heaven's whisper more clearly than ever before. You no longer fit their perception of you, and that's intentional. You've outgrown their narrative. You've evolved past the need for approval. You no longer need to convince people of your worth, because heaven already confirmed it. You are not rising to be seen. You are rising because you've been summoned. This is not an ego trip. This is a divine uprising. You've grown wings. Wings forged in betrayal. Wings stretched in sorrow. Wings strengthened in silence. They no longer cage you because you no longer live in fear. You have learned to soar above what used to keep you earthbound. You have ascended beyond their reach, not physically, but spiritually. Your spirit is not on their level anymore, and that's why they don't recognize you. Your presence disrupts what they haven't yet healed. Your light confronts what they still conceal. And your clarity threatens what they've built on confusion. This isn't your downfall. It's your divine breakout. Every misstep, every wound, every tear-stained prayer was working toward this moment. Heaven never forgot you. Michael never left your side. Even when you felt forgotten, you were being refined in the hidden furnace. They called it a setback, but it was really set up. They thought they buried you, but they didn't know you were seed. What they thought would be your silence turned out to be your soil. And now, fruit is beginning to grow from the places they tried to starve. You are rising, not to return to who you were, but to step fully into who you were always meant to be. There's no need to seek validation. There's no need to explain your change. Let your presence speak. Let your peace preach. Let your discernment defend you. Because now, heaven is moving through you. And when heaven moves through someone, no deception can stand. Let this be your declaration. I will not shrink again. I will not dim my light to fit into shadows. I will not doubt what heaven has already confirmed. This is not the time to play small. This is the time to walk fully in the fire you carry. You are no longer waiting for confirmation. You are the confirmation. Type "I am rising in fire" in the comments if this word confirms your transformation. Blessing code 5555 is now releasing divine strength over you. This had to happen. Every tear, every betrayal, every silence that echoed louder than words, none of it was wasted. All of it was divinely calculated. The pain wasn't punishment, it was promotion in disguise. Archangel Michael steps forward now, and with a voice that shakes deception from its hiding place, he declares, this wasn't destruction. It was divine strategy. This wasn't the enemy's win. It was heaven's setup. What was hidden in the chaos is now being revealed in clarity. What they meant to use to destroy your spirit, God used to open your eyes. The lies, they were scaffolding, temporary structures that only served to build your strength, not your identity. The betrayal, it was the catalyst for your spiritual calibration. Without it, you wouldn't have heard what heaven was saying all along. There are some awakenings that only pain can activate. You needed this divine rupture, not because you were wrong, but because your discernment was dormant. You needed this confrontation, not because you were weak, but because you were chosen for depth, and depth always requires dissection. This wasn't just a storm. It was virtuinity. And now, you're stepping into a version of yourself that couldn't be accessed any other way. Your name was spoken in the courts of heaven before they plied. You were marked for revelation before they ever whispered. You were chosen for elevation before they tried to sabotage your peace. They didn't delay anything. They actually activated the timeline of your rise. Their sabotage became your signal. Your betrayal became your billboard. Their lies became your confirmation. Michael now speaks. You are not stuck. You are being reintroduced to the truth of who you are. Not who they said. Not who your past said. Not who shame or insecurity suggested. But who God always saw. And now, heaven is making that image known. In you. Through you. And around you. This chaos was not meant to crush you. It was permission for your next elevation. It tore down what was not aligned. It purged what was pretending. It forced you to ask questions your comfort never would have invited. And now, in the middle of what seemed like confusion, clarity is birthing. You are walking into prophecy. Not one written on paper, but one etched in your bones, wired into your soul, activated in your anointing. What was whispered in heaven about you is now echoing in the earth. You are no longer hidden. And the exposure isn't about them. It's about you seeing yourself accurately. Let this revelation become your anchor. This did not destroy me. It delivered me into divine recognition. So rise. Not just in authority, but in understanding. You are being seated where heaven designed for you to sit. Not because of what you did, but because of who you are. The masks have fallen. The games have ended. The delays are over. You are stepping into prophecy, not because you forced it, but because you became it. And now, heaven opens wide. The Spirit says, come forward. Archangel Michael stands at your right, and the host surrounds you. Your name is known. Your identity is sealed. Your time is now. If this word is resonating in your spirit and you feel led to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your support helps us continue bringing these anointed messages to others in need. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe for powerful spiritual insight, divine instruction, and consistent prophetic guidance that will help you walk boldly in your purpose. Type "I am walking into prophecy" in the comments if this word found you. Blessing code 3030 is now surrounding your purpose. Now is the moment where your agreement with heaven must become your action on earth. You've seen the deception. You've been awakened by the disruption. You've endured the shaking. But now, heaven is not just asking you to perceive, it is calling you to participate. This is your moment to declare with boldness, with faith, and without apology, "I align with heaven's vision for me." There is no more delay. No more waiting on validation from people who never had the authority to define you. No more submitting your power to places that could not handle your presence. You are stepping into the fulfillment of prophecy, not the kind that floats in the distance, but the kind that demands a decision. Your next level is not waiting on your perfection. It's waiting on your yes. Heaven has watched your obedience in silence, your decision to walk away quietly, your restraint when you could have defended yourself. And now, God is saying, your silence was your obedience. Now your action will be your power. You will not be the same after this. Your voice is not the same. Your posture is not the same. Your vision is no longer clouded. And your steps are no longer random. You are moving with divine assignment. The Spirit is not just preparing you, it is activating you. This is more than encouragement. This is commissioning. Write the vision. Build the structure. Speak the word. Begin the thing. What they tried to confuse is now your confirmation. They tried to gaslight you into second-guessing what God told you, but their doubt only strengthened your discipline. Your silence only sharpened your sound. And now, you are clear. You are consecrated. You are called. Move only when heaven speaks, not when provoked by chaos, not when manipulated by people, not when emotionally pulled into unnecessary war. You are not a responder to drama. You are a carrier of instruction. What comes next must be born from obedience. You are not to be driven by emotion. You are to be led by the Spirit. Your future is not chaotic. It's calculated. And heaven has already prepared your path. The shift you've been feeling is real. It's not anxiety. It's acceleration. You are no longer being prepared for purpose. You are being launched into it. The angels have already gone ahead. The road has already been cleared. What you feared has already been removed. And what you need has already been assigned. You just need to agree. Say yes. Say yes, even when you don't have the whole plan. Say yes, even when the support system doesn't look ready. Because heaven's instruction doesn't wait for earthly confirmation. Now is not the time to pause in uncertainty. Now is the time to move forward in faith. Write the message. Start the ministry. Build the business. Intercede like never before. Speak with clarity. Walk in the room as if you belong, because you do. The weight you carry was for you in warfare. The glory on your life was established through fire. You don't need permission to move forward. You need only obedience. This is not ambition. It's alignment. This is not striving. It's surrender. This is not hustle. It's heaven's hand moving you into visibility for divine purpose. Let your next step be loud with faith. Let your obedience thunder louder than your enemy's doubts. Let your yes echo in the spirit realm and remind every demonic assignment. You cannot be stopped. Type I am activated in the comments if this message confirms your season. Blessing code 7272 is now charging your destiny with divine fire. While you slept, while you wept, while you wondered if heaven was still listening, there was a divine negotiation taking place in the realm of the unseen. You were not abandoned. You were not overlooked. The courts of heaven were in full session, and Archangel Michael stood as witness, as warrior, and as intercessor for your destiny. What was stolen by deception, manipulation, betrayal, fear has now been scheduled for restoration. Do not mistake silence for inactivity. Do not assume because you couldn't see it, nothing was happening. Heaven moved while you rested. Angels were dispatched while you surrendered. Battles were fought in dimensions your natural eyes could never comprehend. And now, you're beginning to sense it. The shift in your atmosphere. That unexplainable stillness. That subtle confirmation. That emotional release. These are the aftershocks of a victory that was already won. Heaven heard you. Even when your mouth couldn't form the words. Even when your cries were buried under fatigue. Even when you only managed to say, God, help me. Those prayers, short, tired, weeping prayers, were documentation. They were legal evidence submitted to the courts of the Spirit. And those prayers are why restoration is being authorized. Not just given. Retrieve. What the enemy touched without permission is now being taken back under divine authority. This is not surface-level blessing. This is deep restoration. This is soul-level recompense. This is a return not just of what was taken, but of what was delaying, distorted, or deemed. Relationships, identity, clarity, peace, time, heaven is reclaiming it all. And it's happening in a dimension that doesn't require your physical action. All that's required now is your alignment. You sensed it. You dreamed it. You've walked into places and felt unfamiliar peace. You've had moments where your heart stopped racing for the first time in months. That is not coincidence. That is the result of heaven's silent exchange. What was bound has been loosed. What was blocked has been opened. What was stolen is being returned with interest. There are angels retrieving your joy. There are divine agents aligning your path. And your ancestors, those who warred in prayer before you were born, have joined in the intercession. Your voices echo in the Spirit, testifying of your endurance, reminding the heavens. This one stayed faithful. This one deserves restoration. God has seen your seed, the quiet obedience, the private fasting, the warfare you fought alone. You will not go unrewarded. You are not invisible to heaven, and you are not behind. You are being repositioned by the same hand that allowed the shaking, not to harm you, but to unseat what was never stable. Your soul knew this shift was coming before your mind could accept it. That's why you've been restless. That's why the old places felt so hollow. That's why the old friendships felt so forced. You were being prepared for a transfer, a sacred exchange, one that didn't require an audience, only obedience. And now, as you step into this new hour, the residue of warfare is lifting. You'll look the same on the outside, but the spirit realm knows you've crossed over. You have crossed into divine retrieval. You have crossed into multiplied return. You have crossed into God's sacred compensation. So rest. not in laziness but in trust. The hardest part is over. The fight behind the veil has been won. Now, your only job is to walk in peace, speak in confidence, and receive with humility. The Spirit has finished what you didn't even know needed fixing. You will see the fruit soon. It's already begun. Type "I receive restoration" in the comments if this word found you in alignment. Blessing code 8844 has been activated over every lost thing. Justice is not delayed. It is divinely timed. It does not operate on human emotion, nor is it swayed by earthly applause. Justice, in the realm of the Spirit, is a force, deliberate, unstoppable, and exact. And now, hear the voice of Archangel Michael. The time of reversal is at hand. What was done in darkness is being confronted in light. What was plotted in shadows is being revealed by glory. What they meant for harm is now returning with heavenly precision, not in wrath, but in righteousness. They thought they won. They thought their betrayal would break you. They thought your silence was surrender. They mistook your pause for defeat. But they forgot. They underestimated that you are covered by covenant. They forgot that God did not sleep. They overlooked the fact that heaven keeps record. Your tears were not emotional waste. They were receipts. And now those receipts are being presented before the courts of justice. Every lie has a consequence. Every betrayal has a balancing. Every manipulation has a measured divine response. The scales are tipping, not in your favor, but in truth's. Because this was never about revenge. It was never about ego. This was always about heaven's name on your destiny. They didn't just attack you. They attacked what God assigned to you. They came for your identity. They tampered with your confidence. They tried to pollute your name in realms you had yet to step into. But heaven, in its authority, has declared, enough. Your vindication will not come from your voice. It will come from visibility. God is about to show what they tried to hide. He is about to elevate you in front of the same eyes that dismissed you. But not to shame them, to reveal Him. Because this is not about you getting even. This is about the throne of righteousness being established in your story. And you won't have to say a word. You won't have to defend yourself. You won't have to explain the scars or recount the damage. The reversal is not just spiritual, it will be visible. You will see it in your peace, in your platforms, in your pavilion, in the restoration of your name, your reputation, your momentum. The very places you were mocked, you will minister. The very spaces you were pushed out of, you will occupy in power. The very people who dismissed your call, they will witness your elevation. This is justice with strategy. God is not petty, He is precise. And what He is building in you through this reversal will last. It will not be fragile. It will not be dependent on their approval. This is divine infrastructure, built from the ground up with obedience, humility, and fire-tested wisdom. Let your heart rest in this truth. You will be vindicated without lifting a hand. The enemies of your soul have already been confronted. Their access has been revoked. The manipulations are falling apart. The lies are unraveling. Not because you chase them, but because truth is catching up to them. And truth doesn't need help. It only needs time. God has not forgotten you. Michael has not departed from your side. What they meant for destruction is returning to them, not by your doing, but by divine reversal. You don't need revenge. You need revelation. And now that you've received it, your only task is to keep walking. Keep building. Keep rising. Don't turn around. Don't look back. Let the fire handle what you walk through. The smoke from the battle is not your shame. It is the scent of your survival. You are the evidence that God defends the faithful. You are the proof that heaven always responds. Type "I am vindicated" in the comments if you feel this word settling in your spirit. Blessing code 9991 has been released to activate spiritual reversal in your atmosphere. If this message has ministered to your soul, consider giving a super thanks. With contributions up to $10, you help us bring more powerful prophetic content like this into the world. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe for more Holy Spirit-led messages, spiritual warfare insights, and divine words of encouragement sent right when you need them. This message did not find you by luck, by curiosity, or by chance. It was not an algorithm that guided you here. It was anointing. Heaven targeted you. This moment is sacred. This encounter is intentional. And the voice that has been speaking is not simply narration. It is the Spirit of truth calling your name. You are not forgotten. You are not wandering aimlessly through confusion. You are not behind. You are right on heaven's schedule. Archangel Michael steps forward now and speaks a final affirmation into your soul. You are seen. You are sealed. You are sent. Let that echo through your bones. Let that sentence be etched upon your heart. You are not waiting to be called. You've already been chosen. And everything that has happened up to this moment was simply proof of your consecration. Peace is now your portion. Clarity is now your inheritance. The fog is lifting. The noise is clearing. The distractions are breaking. And your spirit is rising above it all. You are no longer questioning whether you're hearing correctly. You now know. You are no longer wondering if you're called. You now stand in it. You are no longer doubting your path. You are now walking in purpose. This isn't just another message. This is a mantle being laid across your shoulders. Walk differently. Speak differently. Think differently. Because from this moment forward, heaven recognizes you as a released one. You've crossed over. You've passed the test. You've been found faithful. Let your final declaration be one of surrender, boldness, and spiritual certainty. Speak it from your spirit. I receive. Not out of desperation, but out of agreement. Not from lack, but from alignment. Not as a request, but as a revelation of what's already been written in your favor. You are covered. You are called. You are chosen. You are rising. Now go forth, and don't look back. Type "I receive" in the comments if you know this message was for you. Blessing code 2024 is now sealing this word into your destiny.